Can I introduce you to Richard? There's a number of you guys use Spindle, so we'll be talking a little bit about Spindle, but we'll also be talking about some of the other products that Draycir have. So, Richard, over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So, as Stephen said, I will be focused on Spindle Professional, but I'll also be touching on another product of ours called Credit Hound as well this morning. We're pretty much on schedule, so try to keep on time. But for those of you that haven't heard of Draycir before, we're an independent ISV based in Leicester, but we're a company that's been around for about 13 years now, focusing purely within the ERP accounting space. There's about 6,000 organisations across Europe that use Spindle Professional or Credit Hound, one of our products. So it's very easy to use products. I mean, that's essentially what we offer. We offer products that are implemented by the likes of Turnkey and business partners that will help to streamline your own business processes. So amongst about 6,000 businesses, about 46,000 users worldwide. So again, very well supported product, very popular product, and hopefully you'll see that in this demonstration today. Like I said, we focused on Spindle Professional first, and then Credit Hound very shortly after. So Spindle Professional, I mean, the nature of the product is it gets installed on your PC or on your server as a print driver. And essentially what it does, it takes all the paperwork that NAV essentially produces, like your invoices, your statements, remittance advices, purchase orders, all of those. The good thing about our product is we don't limit to which documents from NAV you can print to our product. By printing all your documents to Spindle Professional, it can look to email them out in bulk and in batch, but also the email that it creates could be relevant to the client you're sending it to. So for those of you that have been using now for quite a while, and you've delved into things like dimensions and customer fields, we can use that information to make sure that the email that goes to that particular customer has some relevant information or certain attachments that might be relevant to them, like terms and conditions, pricing sheet, and so on. So that's something that Spindle Professional can look to automate. Because if you have a look at your own business processes, very often the case is that the document will be produced and it will go to your drafts folder in your outbox in Outlook, and then you'll have to manually go and grab something and attach it and then write a quick message and then send it. If you're doing that every month for your statement run, that's a good amount of time that you can be doing elsewhere. So Spindle Professional helps to automate that process very much. Both Will and Steve mentioned their talks about Microsoft bringing their products together. And I see Spindle Professional in the same light, because at the same time as emailing a customer, we can also look to distribute documents in different ways. So at the same time as emailing, I can look to archive electronic copy. And I still see businesses today that email a copy out, but still print a copy to file away in a cabinet against the customer account for HMRC purposes. Well, we can archive them electronically into various different systems and programs, something like just a standard Windows file structure, or into things like Dynamics CRM or even SharePoint. So as Microsoft themselves bring SharePoint into the fold and Dynamics CRM with their new NAV connector, there's other people in your organisation that might need to get access to these documents. So when I'm doing a statement run, I can archive a copy to SharePoint or CRM, which I as a salesperson can access and review whenever I need to. So if my customer says, well, can you just send me a copy, or can you just let's have a review of the account, I've got that to hand. I don't need to contact the accounts department to produce another one and send it again. So again, these little business efficiencies that Spindle Professional can help to plug away. And again, it's the glue between your business processes and maybe some different systems within your business. But Spindle Professional is not limited to just NAV as well, albeit most of you today will be looking at it for that purpose. It's installed on your PC as a print driver, so using it and using it with different applications is very simple. I did worry this might happen. Okay, we're find a few. Right, so again with the nav, then again I can spend all day printing documents from nav today, but what I wanted to do is show you some output of once I've actually sent them to the Spindle Professional printer. Because it's a demo, that's why it's going to my drafts folder, but normally they go straight out my sent items. I don't have to do anything else. But in this example, I sent out a statement. Let me just bring this across a little bit. The body email, again, is customizable. So this customer here is Dutch, so I've sent, make sure that this has gone out in that particular language. So therefore, if I was sending an email to one of my French clients, then again I can make sure it's in French. Terms and conditions that might be attached to the statement will be relevant to them. If those are with a keen eye. Previously, I obviously sent my invoices out to my customer whilst archiving them. Yes, right, let me go back. Same time as sending out the statement, then I've gone and grabbed the relevant invoices for that statement. So again, to remove the query, next number of days saying, you know, when I've chased the customer for payment, why haven't you paid me? Oh, it's because we've not received the invoices. I'm taking away that excuse. So again, that's quite important, I feel. Within the body of the email, again, we can include information from the document you're actually printing. So in this case, my statement, on my statement itself, we include the sorry about this, did a bit of an upgrade on Adobe. There we go. On the statement, we include the aging bands there. So I can pick up these aging bands from that document and ensure within the body of the email there as well. So again, just making some information that's relevant to them. So again, end of the month, you're doing a statement run of a couple of hundred maybe, then you just print them all to the Spindle Professional printer. Now I appreciate we're still in a phase of getting email addresses for all customers. But with Spindle Professional, you get up and running very quickly. For those customers that do have email address stored against the account in nav, we'll email them. For those that don't, then we could just print them to your local printer as a last resort. So as soon as you enter an email address next time round, we'll email them. For those who are still faxing, we can still fax as well. Try and move away from that, to be quite honest, but it still happens. Depends on the nature of business, of course. But also, there are still scenarios where customers still might demand a physical copy. So as long as there's a field against the account now that says this customer is paperless or not paperless or something like that, maybe using a dimension for that purpose, we can use it and make sure that it gets delivered in the right way. So again, Spindle's pretty flexible from that point of view. So I talked about archiving into things like SharePoint. Then again, you can set up multiple SharePoint archive libraries, so you could say all your invoices go into an invoice library, but including different metadata items there, same with statements, purchase invoices, etc. Again, Microsoft themselves are bringing products together, so for those of you using Dynamics CRM, then you can actually embed SharePoint libraries within CRM itself. So again, we're picking up the same SharePoint library against the account in CRM. So you can see how it's all merging together, one user experience. Spindle's making sure that happens efficiently from your document side as well. In terms of using the product, then you'll see that is my default printer. So I'm just sending my print jobs to that, and that's going to be creating the emails automatically for me. In terms of the email templates, again, you can design them yourself. For those of you that know HTML or have a marketing person that does your website or marketing, then again, you can create some really nice looking templates for specific accounts. Again, we don't limit you to how many documents, how many different email templates, that's all in your control. So I'm moving on now to our Credit Hound application. This is slightly different in that it sits outside of Nav, and it works by pulling your sales ledger information into the Credit Hound program. So you might think, well, Nav is pretty good from credit control for my needs, but as you delve deeper into your credit control processes, it does become quite limited. So Credit Hound is, you could think of it as a more advanced credit control solution. It can be used by multiple users so that each credit controller logs in and just views their accounts, or it could be whereby I'm the sole credit controller, I log in and this is a view of all the accounts there. So you can see top accounts that need my attention the most purely because they're overdue. We've got dispute management built in, there's built-in calendar and diary, managed debt, there's reports that I can see, and you can see where the money's sitting within the business right now. 40% is not due, but 3% is being disputed. And I could drill into this and see accounts with the most disputed amounts there. Disputes, I admit, quite a strong word. You could say inquiry. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay. So what makes this different to standard Nav? Well, with Credit Hound, we can set up multiple chasing routines rather than having one standard chasing routine. Because, as ever, there's always those some accounts that do a lot of business with you, so therefore you never send them a formal letter or chasing email, because that's just going to annoy them and might you know, ruin the relationship a little bit. And that does happen. So with Credit Hound, we can look to exclude certain customers and have completely different chasing routines for those accounts. So for my key accounts, for argument's sake, I don't send them any emails. What I do is I automatically schedule telephone calls in my diary so that if they are overdue by X number of days, and that's your choice, how soon or how often you want to chase them, I can give them a phone call and have a normal discussion, a valuable discussion with them to make sure they get payment in on time. But for those other accounts that never pay on time, don't do a massive amount of business with us, I can afford to be a bit more forceful with them, well, I can put them in a more standard chasing routine whereby, what have I got set up here? I'm just basically chasing anyone that's got invoices that are 15 to 22 days overdue. My action is to write an email. What I can do, in certain circumstances, is automatically put the account on hold, both in Credit Hound and in Nav. So this is quite extreme from my first chase. If we said this is my third and final chase, and they're now 45 days overdue, and that's 45 days beyond their agreed payment terms, I want to send them an email, put them on stop, but also, because I'm sending an email, what's the likelihood of them coming back to me with a response? Pretty slim, generally. So what I might do is write a diary entry 3 or 4 days later. So I know that if they don't come back to me with a response, then I've got a diary call to phone them up, to chase it up once again. So I can do all these actions in one go. So all I do is run this routine off. And again, Stephen touched on workflow. It's a similar type of principle. So look at your ledger. It'll identify you've got 21 accounts that fit within that space, 45 to 70 days overdue. I'll OK that. And it's actually going to produce your correspondence for you based on a pre-worded templated letter. So here we go, we've got 21, some people call it dunning letters, some people call them chasing letters. All I'm doing is printing them off, and of course, I'm going to print them to Spindle Professional. This will take all 21 customer documents, email them, archive them, maybe store them in CRM again, so the salesperson, I should say, or the account manager knows that a more formal email has gone to them. So again, it's just improving internal communications there. You can see there, again, an email's being generated. And again, if we are archiving invoices electronically, then we could, again, go and grab the invoice and send it with the chasing letter that I've just sent as well. If I go to my accounts list, then I can also see these are all the accounts that have just been chased just now, and they're the ones that have been put on stock. So if we go to Super Chef Fitments, cracking note, then you'll notice against that particular invoice that was 45 days overdue, you've got an individual note. So this is the difference. Rather than putting a note against the account, we're putting notes against individual transactions. So we know at any point in time what's been chased and how it's been chased. So that's automatically been put in. Automated chase letter 1 created by chase letter 3. That's gone to this account. There's something new within the latest release of Credit Hound, due out now, is that there'll always be those accounts that are, terminology might be different, there might be sub-accounts or there might be child accounts to a head office or parent account. So the idea is that you might have 5 child accounts together, which you need to chase the head office, or we can look to group those 5 child accounts and basically chase the head office for all the invoices that fit beneath them. So again, save a lot of time and process there. What we also like to look at is from a dispute management or query management is, if I'm a credit controller, I'm spending a lot of time dealing with queries. Those queries aren't normally my fault. It might be an organisation issue, like a problem in manufacturing because the item that's gone out has been, is faulty, or the goods have been returned because we've delivered the wrong item. There's all these things that don't fit within my function, but it's taking my time to deal with those queries, which is taking time away from me chasing those accounts that are very much overdue and don't have queries on them. So again, there's various reports I can show you, but one of them that I do like to show is one called dispute analysis. So every time I am coming across a query and trying to deal with it, I am logging that into the Credit Hound program. So within the time I've been on this demo system, I've recorded 3 times the goods were faulty, and that equates to about £60,000. Goods not received, discount isn't there. These query codes, we call them, they're all customizable, so you as a user would always add the ones that you deal with on a regular basis so that you can record that information. But then drilling down further, you've got average days to resolve it. So again, if it's taking 96 days as a company to resolve this type of issue, then I'm sure we can streamline some processes there. But this report's giving me that type of information. But then if you want an individual breakdown per dispute, you've got that too, both client notes and internal notes that I've personally logged onto the system there. At the same time, I'm putting my sales hat on now, and I'm going to see a customer tomorrow, and I'll just ask the accounts and finance team or credit controller, can I just get an update on this account so I don't look silly when I go to speak to them. They can run this transaction dossier report, and we'll just do it for one account. That was a bad example, sorry. Okay. So because we're putting the notes against individual transactions, I know exactly what's been done in order to chase this invoice. I know there's a query on these 2 invoices here. Why is it on query? It's because the invoice is incorrect, and they're the notes by the credit controller. So again, it's just giving me this information very easily, of which we can export to email or export to Excel, etc. So again, Credit Hound is your advanced credit control solution, putting better processes in place for your different types of clients, making sure you are chasing them in the right way. Because you'll all appreciate we are in a time where we're coming out of very much a dip. People are looking to obviously grow and make that investment. You can obviously only make that investment when your cash flow is that little bit better. So if we can help to improve your debtor days by even a little bit, that all helps. So I will be around this morning. If you want to talk about Credit Hound or Spindle Professional in more detail, then please let me know, and happy to talk that through.
Thank you, Richard. Continuous applause.